Hi, thank you so much for watching. This is a pick a card tarot reading, and the title is What is Your Reputation? So basically, what do other people think about you? If they're speaking about you, what kind of things are they saying about you? I'm going to keep this generally positive like most of my readings, but I will definitely also get into the darker side of it a little bit because, when it comes to reputation, we all have a bit of a dark side to it, but it is going to be mainly positive. So it's definitely, I'm going to try to make it juicy, but also without being scary or fearful. Yeah, you get it. So, anyways, go ahead and pick a pile, pick whatever pile you are most drawn to. So, pile number 1, we have citrine, this beautiful crystal here. Pile number 2 is the smooth stone, red carnelian. And then pile number 3 is peacock ore crystal. It's got a lot of colors going on. Okay, so take all the time you need to pick a pile, and when you're ready, you can skip ahead. Here we go. Hi, pile number 1. So you chose this beautiful citrine crystal. So first, starting out with your reading. So what is your reputation? So I first want to say a little bit about the crystal that you chose. It definitely was not a coincidence. So the citrine right here, it's a very happy and positive crystal. So right away, I feel like you radiate this very optimistic and faithful attitude, which people really notice about you, and they definitely talk about how positive you are, even in the most negative situations. You could be someone who even talks with a very upbeat and high-pitched voice, whether you are male or female. It's just very very up and stimulating. So yeah, I won't go into too much detail about it because we have a lot to cover. So I'm gonna go now with your astro dice. Okay, what is pile number 1's reputation? Okay, wow. All right, so we have Sagittarius, we have the sun, and we have the 10th house. So this is just already so perfect. First of all, the 10th house represents reputation itself and sort of how you are perceived to the world and your outward achievements and your outward appearance. So it is super fitting that I rolled this dice specifically for what is your reputation, because literally the 10th house is your reputation. So this tells me that you have a very strong reputation, and you are definitely someone who gets noticed, you get talked about, and you might not even realize this yourself or see it, but you're just your energy is very prominent, it's very well known. And now we have the sun here too, and the sun is when the whole world revolves around you. You cannot ignore the sun. The sun gets all the attention and everything. So I just feel like you get a lot of attention and a lot of recognition, and just so many people notice you. You could actually have some type of level of fame yourself. You could, even if it's just through social media, maybe you have a lot of followers or something, or you're just maybe within your career or within your niche or some type of hobby, or just someone who's very well known too. And I feel like there's some of you who don't even realize this and you can't even see it. So, you might be someone who actually you don't really have many followers, you don't really get that much interaction. Like you don't really, maybe you feel like people don't notice you, but they definitely do. And so whether you're aware of this or not, and I feel like a lot of you are not even aware of this. So you could be one of those people who it's like, maybe you don't really have many followers, but like there are a lot of random people who will like purposely look you up and search your name and kind of like stalk your social media profiles just to see what you're up to. But like they will not follow you, or they will not like your posts. They will not even like view your stories or anything where like you could catch them, basically. Like there could definitely be a lot of people who spy on you. So, you know, if you're hearing this and you're like, well, I actually don't have any followers, or like maybe you hardly even use social media, you don't really get that much interaction, but like you would be surprised how many people are looking you up and watching your stuff, reading your stuff, looking at photos, but like not actually interacting with you. Okay, so there is sort of like the kind of like the sense of distance too, because the 10th house is like, it's a very high house, if I'm explaining this right. It's like the outward projection. It's like this persona that you put on. And then the sun, of course, is like, it's something that you can never get too close to because it just shines so bright. So you might be someone who it feels like it's hard for people to get close to you. You know, like a lot of people could be intimidated by you, and maybe that's why they pay so much attention to you, but like they never really get too close because you radiate this like shiny energy, the sunshiny energy, just like citrine, just like the crystal you chose. It's like you just radiate this glow, and it can definitely make people feel very shy around you. So you could notice that, like whether or not you notice how many people are paying attention to you, it might seem like people are scared to get too close to you just because they feel like they can't. They're just like intimidated. You're very powerful here. And then with the Sagittarius too, is also extremely positive and optimistic and go with the flow, happy-go-lucky. Okay, so you definitely do not have to have any Sagittarius in your chart, but what this shows is that the way you display yourself is very much Sagittarius. And if you don't know much about that sign, it's just a very, like I just said, like very happy, optimistic, positive, adventurous, someone who always wants to explore, someone who's always down for an adventure. Okay, and also someone with a lot of determinism who achieves a lot. So people are definitely talk about like how much you've achieved in life. And this also goes hand in hand with the 10th house. So you might have a very high-powered career, or you might have a career that puts you in the spotlight where people notice what you're doing, or you could just have like a side hustle or even like hobbies that like it takes a lot of motivation to keep going with it. So, you know, you could have like a certain specialized skill where it takes like a lot of discipline and motivation to push yourself, and you're someone who's like a very high achiever too, which also kind of adds to this intimidation and also kind of makes people a little scared to get too close to you here. So that was already so much. We're like almost 10 minutes in now, and I haven't even pulled the cards yet. So here we go. We have Rose Gold Cosmic Pool. We have Golden Atlantean Dragon. Okay, another theme of gold too. So like the color gold could be of significance. That might be your favorite color, or just color that you wear a lot. Book, knowledge. Mildew fairy, cleanup time. And ecstasy, yielding, rapture, bliss. Okay. So, let me straighten out these cards. And then lastly, we have your crystal card, malachite. Don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm gonna put it next to your other crystal. Okay, malachite. So I do want to just quickly look that up just to make sure I am getting this right. So bear with me for a second. Okay, number 5, malachite. So, okay, here we go. This is the subconscious mind. Brings to light ingrained programming and toxic beliefs, an amulet against pain. This is a powerful stone for emotional transformation. It stimulates the survival instinct, detoxifying your mind, bodies, and emotions. Earthy, heart chakra, base, sacral, solar plexus. Scorpio, transformation of your mind. Okay, so this is very like deep and transformative energy here with the malachite. Hopefully I'm saying that right. So you are very much, people can see that you are very much connected to your subconscious mind here. People might even turn to you to help them spiritually or emotionally. I feel like people get this like transformative energy about you. So that could also be why people are intimidated by you and scared to get too close, because it's almost like they know that they're never going to be the same after getting really close to you or having like significant interaction with you, which is like very deep, but it's wow, yeah, it's pretty deep here. I feel like you, on the surface, you radiate this very like positive and happy-go-lucky energy, but not in a shallow way at all, because sometimes people who are overly optimistic can come across as like kind of ignorant, like, oh, you're ignorant to the world's problems and that's why you're so happy all the time. But like, that is not what I get for the vibe of this pile. You have like, this optimism is very deep. It's almost like you are connected to these spiritual truths and you have this very deep perception where, yeah, it's like someone interacts with you and they are never the same afterwards, even if it was just like one day. Like, so there could be a lot of people in your life, especially like acquaintances. This could have been coworkers, classmates, where they just talk to you, like they have one conversation with you and like all of a sudden they're thinking in a totally different way and they're having like such deep thoughts because you kind of pull something out in other people and kind of make them very aware of their subconscious energy. And it's very healing too. You kind of serve as like this spiritual therapist for others, but not for those who are not ready for it. So, you know, there's a lot of low vibrational people out there who just these are the ones who choose to live in ignorance, and people who would just rather victimize themselves and complain their way through life. So these are the people who you do not mesh with at all. And it's definitely more on their end. It's nothing against you personally. It's just that there are certain people who like don't want to be happy, they don't want to be healed. So they could even find it frustrating to have a conversation with you because you flip the script and you make someone realize, oh, maybe like I'm the one who's getting in my own way. Maybe I'm victimizing myself here. Like you bring about these thoughts in other people and it's super healing. But for those who are just stuck in a negative mindset, who are not ready to hear that, tend to just stay away from you or maybe just have very negative interaction with you because they themselves are not ready to accept healing. Okay, so that's what I get from your crystal here. Now, moving on to the other cards. So again, with the two golden, we have golden popping up twice, and the citrine, it's I think it's technically yellow, but like definitely gold. Definitely seems gold to me. So I don't know if that could be a color that you wear a lot, or I have to say if you don't wear any gold, that maybe you should. Like maybe this is your sign to start wearing gold more. I think it would really like flatter you and your appearance too. I think people really like to see you in gold too. I think especially like gold jewelry or maybe like a gold shirt or something. I know gold is pretty much jewelry, but like there's gold clothing. I know I used to have like these gold shoes and they were super sparkly, and like I was baffled by how many people complimented me on it because like people are just like in love with these golden shoes that I have, and like I wore them out so I don't have them anymore, but maybe I should get but this reading is not about me. This is about you, but I'm just using that as an example. So I also, with the color gold, I also got this lyric in my head from Hilary Duff's Why Not? And she says, you always dress in yellow when you want to dress in gold. Instead of listening to your heart, you do just what you're told. So I think you should go listen to that song right now. I think that is definitely accurate of your reputation and who you are. So people could definitely see you as someone who like, you shine so bright and you have all these great ambitions, but I think a lot of people notice that you sort of downplay it and you kind of humble yourself. And because I feel like even like in the beginning of the reading with your astro dice, I'm like, oh, all these people notice you. And I was getting like this vibe that whoever is watching that and hearing that message is like, no, like I actually don't have that many followers or that many friends or whatever. But like, I feel like you are just, people see that you really like downplay yourself and you have so much, like you're someone who has achieved so much in life and you just kind of downplay it. And you're not someone to like ever show off, really. It's like this very like humbling kind of energy where you always dress in yellow, but you want to dress in gold. It's like people can see that you have a lot to be proud of, but you just kind of shut it down. Maybe you're worried about people getting jealous or people trying to bring you down or hurt you because you have so much to be proud of. because you have all of these achievements. Okay, so this could definitely be your sign to just like be more proud of yourself too. And then the second part of the lyrics, instead of listening to your heart, you do just what you're told. So people could see that, people could see how you kind of blend yourself in when you're not supposed to. And not to sound bad too, like, I don't want to say like, oh, you're just concerned with what other people think, but I do think you could just be very self-conscious and just very self-aware of yourself and the image that you project. So I feel like people do see you as someone who really like would rather just go along with the crowd and rather would blend in, even though you have so much to be proud of, so many achievements in life. Okay, so it could be your sign to really like put yourself out there more. Okay. What else am I getting? I do see you're very like, you definitely get a lot of attention here too. We have like this whole group of animals as well. You could also have like this spiritual gift with animals as well. So you could be one of those people who like animals just warm up to you and they follow you around and they're like really like attracted to your soul here. The golden Atlantean dragon here helps you remember the wisdom of golden Atlantis. So I do feel like people do see that you have a lot of wisdom too. I am not sure if I'm saying this right, but what comes to mind is the Akashic Records. Again, correct me if I'm saying that wrong, but hopefully you know what I mean. Where like you are very much connected to basically like the blueprint and the DNA of human civilization, and even like since before time. You definitely have the power to access that. And I think it looks like people can see that because you have this type of wisdom that is just like so out of this world and like so beyond this material realm that people can see that you're definitely connected to something higher and you're not just like strictly a part of this world. Like you belong to something higher here. With this book of knowledge too, that also plays off of this message, okay? And but also just seeing that you're someone who's very smart. People recognize that you're super smart. They might even see you as kind of like a bookworm, even like a nerd or something. Like I feel like you know a lot. You're not only wise, but you're also very knowledgeable. So you have a lot of facts. You could be someone who just comes out with like a lot of random facts and you're just like out of nowhere in mid-conversation. You're like, oh, but did you know that blah, blah, blah? And just like spit out these totally random facts that no one else knew. So people do see you as very smart, which gives you a lot of respect too. You definitely are very well respected. You know, you're not someone who is like reckless or shakes things up. You're very much known as almost kind of like a rule follower, but I don't want to say that in a bad way. It's just like in a smart way, you know, in a way that keeps you dignified and respected by others. And yeah, you could definitely, if you are someone who reads a lot, people pay attention to that. That's kind of one of the huge, big things that you are known for. So with this mildew fairy here, I feel like I kind of want to look this up real fast just to get the right message here. Some things just look like they're yuck, but they're not. they're very good things and can be powerful when used in the right way. It's time to check out what's useful for you and what you've dismissed. It always shocks me when people think something shouldn't be there, like me. I grow naturally where it's warm and wet, and I love to show you what you may need to take care of. I can do wonderful things. I can be medicine, and I can be a parasite too. But all the time I'm showing you what's going on, what you need to change, and whether the conditions are a little too steamy for you. Okay, so yeah, I feel like this kind of reminds me of the malachite crystal that I first went over with you. And it also has like these earthy tones too here. So I think you point things out in other people, and I feel like it's not even on purpose. It's just like you yourself have so much self-awareness. And so when people talk to you and interact with you, you might bring up these things that you find as obvious, but the person you're talking to, it's not so obvious to them. Okay, so hopefully you understand what I mean by that. I'll try to explain it a little better. So like, I think you point out things about other people, or even about like human nature or the universal nature. Like, you know, for example, you might say something like, oh yeah, history always repeats itself because, and then you give like a specific example or something like that. Or if you're talking about a specific person, you could say like, oh, I noticed this person is very whatever, like the specific trait. You just like, you notice a lot of things because you're just extremely aware, and you're extremely conscious. You're not just self-aware, like you're aware in general, like you're aware of other people too, and their actions and their thoughts and how people function and what they do. So people definitely notice that like you bring things up. And I think, like I also mentioned before, like people who are very much in these negative states might not be ready to hear these facts that you think are so obvious. Again, with the facts, with the books, it's like, I could see you as being someone who's like, oh, like this is just a fact. Like, this is not my opinion. This is just fact. Like, definitely like saying something like that, where like you just point things out. I think you point out the ugly truth too. But at the same time, but not like in a pessimistic way at all. So I hope you're following me here. Like, not like, oh, like, trying to think of like a specific example. I just feel like you're so accustomed to the ugly truth that it doesn't even bother you. You're kind of like, oh yeah, like people are selfish and greedy, but that's like human nature. But it's not like in a pessimistic way though. You're not like, oh, I hate people because because humans are evil, you know? But you're more like, oh, I don't expect a lot from people because I know how greedy they are. And you just kind of say it like matter of fact, but not in a victimizing way at all. It's actually the opposite of victimizing yourself, because I feel like people notice that when you get into sticky situations, like if someone treats you badly, you're not gonna like you're never gonna victimize yourself over it. If anything, like you're going to take ownership over everything you do. And that takes so much strength. It takes so much spiritual strength. So like I said, like you could be people who are very low vibrational, people who just want to complain all day. They do not mesh with you. They do not understand you. They do not spending time with you, and it's not personal at all. It's a reflection of their inability to take ownership of themselves. Okay, so that was like a really deep message. I really hope you understood me there. Please leave a comment too if you know what I mean by that, and if you feel like that resonated. If not, I can like try to explain in the comments better, but it's like a super specific message. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to this last oracle card, and then we still have to go through your tarot too. So take a seat or buckle up because we're still going strong. So ecstasy, yielding, rapture, bliss. I think this is not like, this is pretty much another quick message. This is just reiterating the fact that you are very positive and you're optimistic, and literally what I've been saying like this whole time. You don't victimize yourself. Like, people see that you take ownership of what you do, and you see the best in other people, but not in an ignorant way. Like, you're not like, oh, everything is rainbows and butterflies. And it's funny because there are actually butterflies in this photo, and this one too. She is a butterfly herself, which is again like the transformative energy here. So like, you change people. Like, you have such a heavy effect on other people. Like, you change the way people think about the world. Okay, so I think I've said everything. I'm not gonna repeat myself. We're gonna quickly go through these tarot cards and see what else they have to say. Queen of Cups here. The Star in reverse. Death in reverse. Okay, I was wondering, because transformation came up, I was wondering if the Death card was going to appear, and it did. The Knight. Ace of Cups reverse. And the Chariot. Okay, we have a lot of watery energy here. We have definitely Scorpio and Cancer, plus these two cup cards. So getting strong water, and the Star is Aquarius. Aquarius is technically an air sign, but it is symbolized as the water bearer. Okay, so you don't have to be a water sign at all, but I do see that you're very sensitive and you're very emotional and intuitive here, which is yet another sign that people can see that you have a very strong sense of spirituality here. Yeah, so that's it's like a very strong, and I feel like, again, like I said with the Death card, like you do have a very strong transformative energy here. It is interesting that it came up in reverse, and we also have the Star in reverse too. The Star is like very hopeful, very optimistic, okay, but both of these are in reverse. So we also have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay, so you could have issues. People could notice maybe you have some issues when it comes to letting go. Okay, so it's kind of ironic because you have this power to change people and transform people, but you yourself personally could have some trouble with transformation. But I do feel like you definitely have this powerful effect on people where it's like after they know you, they will never be the same, even if it's something as little as one single conversation with you. I do feel like you're someone who does not like small talk. So even when you talk to strangers, even when you're meeting someone for the first time, there's something very deep about your conversation with one another too. People could see too that you like to take control with the Chariot here. Some of you might even be someone who travels around a lot. or people might notice that you have like this restless energy where you're like kind of always on the move and you're always pushing yourself and motivating yourself to do something different. Okay, and even though you are a very optimistic person, people do see that you are connected to the dark side here with the Knight and with the Death card as well. So, like I already said, like, even though you're optimistic, like, it's not in an ignorant way at all. It's like you're very aware of the ugly truth in life, of the painful truth. And that just makes you so much of a stronger person because of that. Okay, so those are all the messages I got. So thank you so much for watching Pile 1. I hope it resonates. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, and comment, and share this video as well. If this pile did not resonate, you can always go back and choose another one. And I wish you many blessings. Hello, pile number 2. So you chose this red carnelian smooth stone. Beautiful. Okay, so first off, pile number 2, what is your reputation? So I do want to quickly touch on the crystal that you chose because that was definitely no coincidence. So red carnelian is very fiery and confident. It is connected to the sacral chakra, which has a lot to do with sexuality and your animal instincts too. I believe it's also connected to the root chakra too, which is like your survival instincts and just the animalistic side of you. So when it comes to your reputation, I do feel like people notice that you have a very strong sexuality. So whatever that means for you personally. So this could be that some people may find you to be like very hypersexual, or you're just someone who kind of has a very dirty mind, maybe, you know. That doesn't necessarily mean that you act on it, but maybe just like your perception or the things that you say. Maybe you make a lot of dirty jokes too. You could be someone who maybe you get around, you date around, you could sleep around a lot, okay? That doesn't have to be true, but obviously you'll know if that applies or not. But overall, you just have this very, like, I want to say very sexual energy. So even if you've never even kissed anyone before, it's like there's just something very magnetic about you, very sexy, very charming too, and yeah, very just connected to your animalistic side. You could even be someone who tends to come off as a little bit impulsive and maybe even a little bit hot-headed, kind of quick to anger, but also a lot of confidence here too. I think that's definitely what adds to the sexual part, like a lot of confidence too. Yeah, and even if you don't consider yourself sexy or sexual at all, you know, maybe you think of yourself as prude perhaps, but like people around you would definitely think very, very much like magnetic, sensual, in touch with your body. So you could have chemistry with like a lot of people here. Okay, so let's get into your dice and see what we got. So what is pile number 2's reputation? What do other people think of them? Okay, oh my God, okay. Okay, this is the sign of Cancer, but it definitely, the way it rolled, came out as 69. Okay, I feel like this, just from the crystal alone, I feel like this is going to be kind of a sexual reading. So hopefully you're 18 plus. If not, please click away. So we have the sign of Cancer. we have Jupiter, and we have the 7th house. Okay, so starting with the 7th house, this is very much about like a partnership. Okay, so you could just be very, again, like very attractive towards other people. People could find you to be extremely attractive. A lot of people want to date you. A lot of people want to tie you down. You could also be seen as someone who dates around a lot, or maybe you always have like a steady partner. Maybe you've been in a long-term partnership, and that's something that people notice about you. And if you are someone who's single, you definitely get a lot of crushes, whether they come forward or not. Okay, so you might not even be aware of them, but a lot of people want to tie you down. They want to be your life partner here. So I do feel like you get a lot of crushes. You get a lot of secret admirers here who might not even necessarily come forward. We have Jupiter, so you definitely do everything. Jupiter is super confident too, just like the red carnelian crystal. So people do see that you have a lot of confidence. So, and remember, this is like your reputation, your outward projection. So even if you yourself don't really have much confidence, or you're someone who's just like very humble in your own mind, at least, like the way you project yourself is just super confident. And I think that's why so many people are attracted to you, because you just seem very sure of yourself. It seems like you always know what you're doing. You never really look lost or confused or anything. You're just someone who can take control and can be in control. Just super confident. You might even have like a very people could see that you even have like a dominating personality. Maybe you're someone who's very like all or nothing, or like go hard or go home type of motto, where like you do everything on a big scale, or you don't do it at all. It's like you're very much all or nothing, or people see you as someone who's very like black and white thinking. And then we have the sign of Cancer. So you do not have to be a Cancer in your zodiac, but you do display the qualities of the Cancer sign. So this is like very sensitive, very intuitive. First of all, any water sign itself is going to be very much connected to their emotions, their empathy, and their intuition. So you do have this like very sweet, graceful side to you that you project. So with this Jupiter here, it's like you're very much like you're on display, like people notice you. You could do things on a large scale, but then this Cancer energy kind of softens that too, where it's like you're not like dominating to the point of like obnoxiousness here. Although Cancer very much does like to be in control. So you could display yourself as someone who is like large and in charge, and you like to have the power, you like to be in control. Maybe you like to set the rules, you want other people to follow your own rules as well, but at the same time you're not dominating in like a mean way. Like you very much empathize with others. Okay, so especially like if you are in a leadership position, it's like you use your power for good. Okay, so that's pretty much all I got from there. Let's get into your cards now. Okay, so we have Ascension Lift. We have Orange gold dragon from Arcturus opens you to knowledge for the new golden age. Fortune cookie, fortuitous, or fortuitous. Am I saying that right? Sewer mermaid, your sensuality is beautiful. And prey, stalked, invaded, and watched. Wow, okay. So let's move these over. And then your last oracle card is your crystal. So you have polychrome jasper. Okay. So I'm just going to 31. So I'm just going to quickly confirm your crystal to get a good definition of it. So bear with me for a second. Okay, belonging. The shaman stone that assists with traveling between worlds, offering protection while you travel. It helps you remember why you are living on Earth. You belong to a greater group, be it a family or clan. If you feel isolated, reach out to others out of strength rather than neediness. The stone offers security. Also has to do with big changes. Earthy. Leo, Libra, Aquarius, integration and reconnection. Okay, so with this stone here, you definitely make people feel like they belong here, which could add to that like very attractive energy that you have, very sexual too. It's like, I feel like you talk to people as if they have been your best friend for years. So it doesn't matter if it's a stranger, it doesn't matter if it's an acquaintance, coworker, classmate, like whoever, you speak to people as if like you're, like I said, like you've been friends for years. So it's this just very warm and welcoming energy that people feel around you. And I do feel like some of you could be in a leadership position. Maybe you're like the leader of a group, or maybe you have like a lot of high status in your career or whatever it is. And I feel like, or this could be predictive too, maybe you will have that very soon. But I feel like even in that position, you never really let that get to your head. Like, people do not see you as egotistical at all. Like I said before, like you use your power for good. So you could be, you could be someone's boss, or you could just have a much higher ranking than someone else, and you'll talk to them as if they're your equal too. So you don't look down on anyone, just like you don't look up at anyone either too. So also, like, what also reminds me of the 7th house, like this is partnership, this is being on the same level as someone. So I just feel like people can see that you see everyone as equals, and you don't even really believe in authority almost, or like sorry, let me rephrase that. You don't believe in like a hierarchy. So even like when you're talking to someone who's really young or really inexperienced, or maybe they have like a very low ranking position at their job, like you don't really see any of that. Like, you'll talk to them like you aren't on the same level as them, and then you'll turn around and you'll talk to someone who's like a big boss man, or like they have a lot of power, a lot of authority, and you'll treat them the same exact way as you treat the other person, So, and it's like, you're just very fair in how you talk to people, and it's like you go beyond status too. Same thing with money too. Like if someone has a lot of money, you don't treat them any differently than someone who's poor. You are just, yeah, you're very fair, and you see everyone as your equal, and just everyone in general equal, and that gives you a lot of charm, that makes people feel good. I feel like if anything, the only people who would get like offended by that is like if someone does have a big ego and they're your boss, or they are like some type of authority figure, a teacher, or some type of like high status. Like someone could definitely get annoyed with you for not like bowing down to them or sucking up to them. Definitely, like if it's a very low vibrational person and someone who thinks that like status and money is the only important thing to life, they could definitely have a lot of disagreements with you, because like some people expect you to bow down to them, to suck up to them, and like you're not going to do that. You're definitely someone who just sees beyond the ego. So you could really clash with people who have really big egos. But I think like even most authority figures, like the ones who are fair and just, actually really admire the fact that you don't suck up to them. Because like a lot of people, if you're like a high vibrational person, like they don't really want suck ups. Like they want you to earn their respect rather than like beg for it or something like that. Okay, so moving on to the other cards. You can see it, I love the order it's in. You can kind of see it going from like light to dark. And yes, I did do that on purpose, because these are sort of darker cards in general, and these are very like woo-woo, like high spiritual cards. So we'll start with your Ascension lift. Prepare for rapid spiritual growth, be ready for opportunities. I feel like you yourself, you offer a lot of opportunities for people. So I just feel like, I don't know if you have like a high status in general, or if you just, it kind of feels like you have these connections, and you've got the hookup, and it's like you know things that other people don't. So I feel like people could come to you for opportunities in order to kind of get ahead in life. So you do have to watch out for that. Like if people are coming to you for opportunities, of course you can get those people who are just looking to take advantage of you, but I don't even think you have to worry much about that, because I think you have a very good intuition, and you can tell if someone is coming to you with genuine intentions or not. And I feel like you really like to help people. You like to boost people up. Like it makes you feel good, because again, you're not threatened by someone with a higher status than you, or someone who achieves more than you. Like that's actually what you want to see. Like you want to surround yourself with people who continue to push themselves. So, you're like the type of person where like you could help someone get ahead, and they could even end up getting further than you ever had. And that wouldn't even make you jealous. That would just make you proud, and you'd be like, wow, like this person is succeeding so much, and they once came to me for help, and like I helped them get there. So yeah, you really like to bring people up, you like to lift people up, you like to help them succeed. So people see that you have a lot of potential to help them out and to push them far. So with this rose gold dragon, I think this is a very similar message. It's like it opens up knowledge for the new golden age. So it's like, it's basically saying like, things, more than most people do. And like, how to get ahead, you kind of know how to like sort of twist things, kind of like almost kind of like cheat the system, but like in an ethical way, of course, but like you just know some tricks. You know a lot of life hacks. I feel like people come to you for life hacks and just like general advice, and it just makes you really happy when people come to you looking for advice, trying to help them out. So with this fortune cookie, this is pretty straightforward. I mean, you have a lot of fortune, or this is at least something that people think of you. So, and this definitely goes hand in hand with the Jupiter that I rolled, because Jupiter is the planet of good luck and good fortune. So this is like super fitting for you. So yeah, people see that you're very lucky. And again, this is what people think of you. So it might not even be the truth. So like, I feel like you're someone who works very hard for your success. Like, you tend to have a lot of success, but that's because you put in the work, and that's because you make very smart and wise decisions. And like I said, like you know things that other people don't, but I feel like people look at you and they think you just, all the success just came from good luck, and people don't even realize like how hard you have to work for things. People kind of just make the assumption like, oh, things just always work out for pile number 2. Like they just kind of wing it, and they get these amazing results because they're very lucky. And yeah, a lot of people definitely find you attractive, and it's like that natural beauty that they see. Like, they don't think you're someone who really has to ever work for your beauty, especially if you're someone who wears makeup. Like, people don't think like, oh, they're pretty because they wear makeup. It's like, no, this person was born beautiful. Like, this person got some lucky genes here. Like, this person won the jackpot with the gene pool here. Like, yeah, like you could just be someone who, like, you have a really nice body, and people just make assumptions. Whether you diet and exercise or not, people could just assume like, oh, you were just like born with that, like you have that. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick sip of water. Okay, so now it gets a little darker here. We have the sewer mermaid. Your sensuality is beautiful. So this is like very much what I was saying in the beginning of the spread, and no, I did not see this card until now either. So this is, yeah, this message was meant for you. So again, like, people just see you as very sexual and very physically attractive, and just like you have a lot of sensuality, and people see you as someone who like gets lucky a lot too, again with the fortune cookie as well. And you're just like, and the reason is because you're very much in touch with your body. You're very proud of your body. So people can see that you're like, you're not afraid to show off. Like, you're not afraid to wear something that's a little bit revealing, or you're not afraid to get naked either. Like, you're just very much in touch with your body. And I think it seems like you do not see the body as disgusting or shameful. you're very much accepting of your own sensuality as well as everyone else's. And it's kind of like this dark sensuality too. So it's definitely not like this cookie cutter beauty. So if you're someone who wears makeup, it's definitely like the minimum amount, or you have like this natural look to you. There's just something very natural about your looks. And even if you do work out, I feel like you don't go crazy. Like, it's not like to the point of like body dysmorphia. You're not someone who would go out and get like plastic surgery or anything. Like, it's very much like this natural beauty. I feel like you're also someone who like embraces your flaws too. And maybe that wasn't always the way too, you know, maybe like when you were younger, you were very like ashamed of the things that made you different. There could be something, I feel like there is something kind of exotic too about your appearance, and that could be something that you were ashamed of when you were younger, and you tried to fit in and you tried to look like the movie stars and like the Hollywood celebrities, but like what you never knew is that like these things that you were ashamed of that made you different were like the exact qualities of why people have always been so attracted to you. Okay, so there could just be some type of like flaw or quirk about your face or your body or something, and like this is the reason why people are attracted to you, like because of this quote unquote I want to say like I want to say like deformation or something, but just like something that's just different, like something that you would consider a flaw, but it's actually the exact opposite. And yeah, like I said, you could have been ashamed of this part of yourself when you were younger, but like as you grew up, you learned to accept it. And now maybe it's something that you like actively embrace now, especially if you have understood that like this is actually why so many people are attracted to you, because you're not like a plain Jane. Like, you're not just cookie cutter. You're not like this ordinary beauty or like cliche beauty that you see in the movies. It's just something like different, and that's what makes you stand out, and that's what actually makes you more beautiful than your standard model or whatever. Okay, and then lastly we have Prey, Stalked, Invaded, Watched. So I do feel like a lot of people stalk you and watch you and invade you, like very, very much straightforward as to what the card says. So, you know, you do have to be careful with people like invading your boundaries too, but I think this is something that you've lived with your whole life. So you kind of have like this fiery part of yourself that you know how to protect yourself, because I feel like this is something you kind of dealt with your whole life, where people kind of invade your privacy and your boundaries. People can definitely get like very obsessed with you. I feel like you just have a history of stalkers, and not even like strictly romantic. Like, I feel like you've had friends who become obsessed with you, codependent on you, to the point where like they want to see you all the time, like they're constantly calling you, and they just get into your business. You know, you could have had friends in your life where you had to just put up these boundaries and be like, okay, like you cannot call me 5 times a day, like you gotta stop with that. But definitely a lot of admirers too, a lot of secret admirers. Okay, so more people than you realize are watching you, lusting after you, people looking up your pictures, a lot of people pleasuring themselves to you as well. So yeah, I could go on, but you get what I mean with that message. So yeah, there's that. So we're gonna finish up with your tarot cards. Two of Cups, Judgment, Ace of Pentacles, reverse, the Sun, Ten of Cups, reverse, and the Magus. Okay, so with this Two of Cups, a lot of people see you, again, the Two of Cups is like, so it doesn't have to be romantic. This can just be seen eye to eye with someone. So whether that's a friend or a peer. So this definitely reiterates the message I was saying in the beginning, where like people see that you treat others fairly, and you see eye to eye with everyone, and you have the ability to get on anyone's level, and you don't suck up to anyone, and you also do not pity anyone or look down on anyone. It's like you give everyone the same amount of respect despite social status, despite how much money someone has, so that type of thing. But again, the Two of Cups can also be romantic. So this is another sign that a lot of people, I feel like you've had a lot of people in your life, and you will continue to have a lot of people believing that you are their soulmate or their twin flame or something. So a lot of people really want to get in a relationship with you and tie you down and be yours like forever. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, a lot of people want to cuff you up here. I also see that people see that you have a lot of forgiving energy too. So you are not someone to really hold a grudge or use someone's past against them. You're always willing to give someone a second chance no matter what. You definitely take the high road in a lot of situations. You definitely have a lot of positivity here with the Sun card, very optimistic. You're glowing. You could also be very much connected to your inner child as well. You could be very popular with children, or you just get along really well with children. And I think that kids really like you because, like I said before, like you don't look down on them, you don't talk to them with disrespect. Like you see kids as your equal. So you're that type of person who will talk to a kid almost like they're an adult, or you'll kind of bring out your own inner child when you're talking with kids. If you are someone who's around kids often, it's like you're not gonna be I feel like some of you could definitely be teachers too, because you are in like this position of authority here, but like you don't act like, or you could be a parent too, you don't act like necessarily like a teacher or a parent or like someone who's like better than a kid. It's like you bring out your inner child in order to connect with another kid. The Magus, you are very powerful here though, so like even though you do see eye to eye with others and you're not like overly dominating, but you're definitely powerful. You're definitely in some type of position of authority, or you just have a lot of power. You have a lot of control over other people, but in a very benevolent way. Okay, so you have a lot of power, but you use your powers for good. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles reverse. I was gonna say you might struggle with money, but I almost feel like you're just someone who like doesn't even care about money. Like what I was saying before, like money doesn't impress you. Like you'll talk to a rich person the same way you talk to a poor person. Like you're just not impressed by money. So people can see that money is not your number one goal in life. Okay, and you're also not like completely motivated by emotions too. Like I feel like you can have a lot of passion, but you're not someone who's very much controlled by your emotions. You might even be someone who struggles to feel emotionally satisfied. Okay, there could be a bit of like an unsatiable aspect about yourself. Okay, and those are all the messages I got, so I'm going to leave it at that. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please send me your love and support. You can subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you so much. Share it with others. And I send you many blessings. Hello, pile number 3. So you chose the Peacock Ore crystal. It's beautiful. It has so many different colors. It's very shiny. So first things first, I do want to say a little bit about this crystal and how it connects to your reading, because you definitely did not choose it by coincidence. So the Peacock Ore is very positive and sunshiny, and it represents happiness. So I do feel like you're someone who comes across as very optimistic and cheerful, and you have a lot of faith in the universe. This is also a very creative crystal as well, and someone who is not afraid to stand out from the crowd. So I feel like there's a very unique energy about yourself. You could have a very unique sense of style. There's something about your personality and even the way you dress and your appearance and maybe how you do your hair or something that's very different from what's expected of mainstream society. And I feel like you have a lot of creative talents too. You could be involved in the arts, some type of art like writing, singing, drawing, anything like that. And I do feel like I do get that you're someone who's very funny too. You like to tell a lot of jokes and really make people laugh, and you could be someone yourself who laughs a lot as well. So now I'm going to get into the Astro Dice. So what is pile number 3's reputation? All right. Okay, so we got the 10th house, which pile number 1 also rolled that too. So there is a correspondence already. We have Aries and we have Mercury. So first off, the 10th house. So like I said, I rolled the same number for pile number 1. So there could be a connection there. I also find it really funny that I rolled it specifically for this type of reading, because the 10th house literally represents your reputation. So it's exactly what this reading is it's exactly what this reading is about. So it's very fitting. And I want to say that you just have a big reputation here. Like, it's very prominent. You're definitely someone who puts yourself on display. People really notice you too. especially if you do really have like a unique style and something that's very different. You definitely stand out from the crowd. It's also, I want to say, very respectable to your reputation, because even though you stand out and you are different, it's like you're not like overly reckless or overly controversial with the things you do. I feel like you are highly aware of your reputation or how others perceive you. So you do make very like smart and grounded decisions overall. I think, yeah, people just notice you a lot. So it could go either way. You could either be someone who maybe you have some level of fame. Maybe you're like very popular on social media, or you have like a lot of followers, a lot of likes too. You could have like a big friendship group as well, or just be very, very known within your profession or your community. But then there's others of you who are not even, you might not even realize how much attention you actually get and how many people are actually watching you and noticing you. So it's similar to the first pile, where like you might not even have that many followers, but you could be surprised by how many people will go and look up your account on social media, like frequently, like on a frequent basis, but like they're not following you. Like they refuse to follow you or like anything. Like they don't want to know that, they don't want you to know that they're watching you. And this is not just one person too. Like this is many people, I feel like, who could be doing this. So yeah, even if you're like listening to this and you're like, actually, like I don't really have that many followers, I don't think people actually pay that much attention to me, like you're definitely wrong in that case, because people are looking, people are noticing, but it could be from a distance where you don't even realize. So we have the sign of Aries. So you do not have to be an Aries yourself at all, but you do display the qualities of an Aries. So this is more optimism here. This is like looking at the bright side, having a lot of confidence too. You definitely display a lot of confidence as well. But there is also something kind of childlike and naive about you in like a very cute way. So people could see that you're someone who like, you take leaps of faith and you kind of jump into the unknown, and you don't really worry about things going wrong. You just kind of hope for the best, and sometimes it works for you and sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes you take a leap of faith and you stick the landing and everyone's like, oh my God, how did they do it? And then other times you take a leap of faith and you did not realize how big the jump was and you fall to the ground and you hurt yourself pretty badly. And, you know, sometimes you kind of do look like a fool, but then other times you look like a badass. So it all depends. But no matter the case, I feel like you're not someone who needs to plan out every single detail or every single step. It's like you just go for it. You try to remain as confident as you can, whether you're gonna fail or not. You know, you'll never know if you don't try. And then for the planet, you have Mercury. So this is the planet of communication. So I do feel like you are some type of communicator. So you definitely could be someone who is on display a lot. So maybe you have like a big social media presence, or despite that, in either case, I feel like you're someone who you have a lot of good communication skills. People notice that when you speak, that you talk like, you don't just ramble, like you don't just speak gibberish. Like when you talk, you actually have something important to say. You're really good at conveying your thoughts and putting them into words too. You could even be like a writer or a singer too, and maybe that's how you express yourself, but you're really good at expressing yourself, and you are just as good as understanding other people too. You're also a really great listener, and when people speak, like when people talk to you, they know that you're listening and they feel like they're actually being heard. So a lot of people could come to you to tell you things, maybe tell you their problems, and it feels good because they know that you're genuinely listening to them. You're not someone who just like nods along and pretends to listen. Okay. Now let's get into your cards. We have Dusky Pink Dragon from Andromeda. Prepares all your chakras to embody higher love. We have Cosmic Emerald, create perfect health, access divine abundance. Fire, spontaneity. Lantern Fairy, a clear solution. The past, a prison. Bitterness, grudge, refusal to let go. Oh, wow. Okay. So, last, we have your crystal card, which is turquoise. Okay, so along with the peacock, you also have turquoise. So I'm just going to quickly look up this turquoise here. This is number 39. Oh, it says true riches. A copper-based stone attracting good fortune since antiquity, turquoise was popular for protective amulets. Sacred to Hathor, Venus, and to Buddha, it linked earth and sky and made a potent love charm. Wow, okay, so some of you might be matchmakers here. You could have like a gift when it comes to bringing people together. What else do we have? Rules the throat and the third eye chakra. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Pisces, attuning to inner riches. So, you navigate the way forward with sure-footed confidence, but watch your personal safety and deal with problems immediately. Good friends accompanying you, you are in spotlight and others rely on you. Okay, so it says you have a lot of true riches here. All right, so I do see like a lot of spiritual wealth. So when it comes to your reputation and how people see you when they look at you, they see that you do have a lot of fulfillment and you do have a lot of luck, people feel like, when it comes to spiritual gifts or when it comes to maybe your artistic talents or the ability to make friends or your conversational abilities too, because this does rule the third eye and the throat chakra. So it's like, I feel like people can speak with you and have like these really deep conversations. People can definitely turn to you for spiritual wisdom here. And yeah, people see that you are very deep and you're not someone who is strictly motivated by money. Like, that's not a huge concern for you. It's not something that you really think about too much. You're not fixated on money like most of society is here. I feel like you're just someone who's very much involved in the arts and you're very passionate about art here and making art, even if, because artists, unfortunately, they don't make much money. They tend to be underpaid for whatever they do. And I feel like for you, you could sort of be like that starving artist where like you could feel like you don't really make money out of what you do and you're being undervalued, you're being underpaid for what you do, but it's like you still go ahead and do it anyway because money is not your biggest motivator here. It's not what you're strictly passionate about. You're definitely someone who's super spiritual and super connected to like the creative, imaginative, and artistic world here. So with your unicorn card, Cosmic Emerald, there's something about health here. Create perfect health, it says. So I feel like you have a reputation for being healthy. People could see that you just make very healthy decisions in general. You kind of balance the head and the heart here. There's also something very healing about you. I feel like a lot of you could be spiritual healers here. So, some of you might be involved in healthcare or the medical field, maybe even like herbalism too. But I feel like you could excel even further if you involve yourself, if you're not already involved in spiritual healing and esoteric healing and, helping people out through spiritual methods. So even like hypnotherapy or Reiki or something. So I feel like some of you already could be involved in that, but if you aren't, that's something that you would like truly succeed in, and that's something that you could really be very well known for because you could excel very far in that. Now this other card, Dusky Pink Dragon from Andromeda, prepares all your chakras to embody higher love. Accept and radiate higher love. Touch others with its flame. So it's interesting. It says something about flame, and then your next card is literally fire. So I do feel like you have like this magnetic touch with others. There's something very passionate about your energy. I think people see that you do not hold yourself back, especially when it comes to things that you're very excited about and very passionate about, which is, there's a lot. There's not just one thing. Like, I feel like you could even be like very easily excitable too. Like, you get really hyped up and excited about the small things in life. So yeah, just like by being around you, you're kind of like literally like this fire. Like, people are around you and then they themselves start to feel more excited about things in life. So I feel like people come to you to kind of get like this energetic burst, and it's sort of like, I feel like you kind of have like the effect of drinking a cup of coffee around others. Like, people come to you and you kind of give them like this jolt and like this excitement and this overall boost in energy. And someone could be like, having a hard day, going through a very hard time, and then they talk to you, and it's like, it's just like a bolt. It's like a burst in energy here. All of a sudden, they feel very passionate again. So you can, this is why, like, if you're not already doing this, but like you could really, you have this potential to really heal people just through the spiritual world alone. Like, just people just being in your presence, they feel energized, and it's especially helpful for depressed people. And so something you do have to watch out for is that, like, I feel like because you have this energetic effect on people, you could tend to attract people who are just very depressed. Like, you tend to attract depressed people into your life. And now, this is not to say that there's something wrong with people who go through depression. Like, it's very common, but you do have to be careful because this energy is contagious. So you just have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well, and you're not strictly throwing yourself into the needs of other people. And it's important that you get your space from time to time too, because you could attract people in your life who, like I said, they're very depressed, they're very down, and they just feel energetic around you, and they feel so much better. And it's like they absorb your energy, but then you absorb their energy too. So even though the person walks away feeling rejuvenated, in turn, it could make you yourself feel kind of depressed, because it's like an exchange of energy, especially if you're getting really close. Like, if you're forming deep friendships with people, or you're dating people who are very prone to negativity and just overall sadness and lethargy, like, they walk away from you and they feel super energized, but then you yourself could feel a little bit drained, you know? It's like that energy exchange. So that is something that you just, like, have to watch out for. And people might not even realize consciously that they're doing that to you, that, like, they could be kind of draining you because of that. Okay. So there's also something very, like, spontaneous about you. So people see that you are someone who really seeks adventure, and you like to try new things. And they say that you're someone who just kind of acts on a whim. And this could also make you very unpredictable too. People could see you as maybe a little bit moody, or just very, very hard to predict. It's hard to even put you into one box. It seems like you're always surprising people, and they never really know what to expect from you or what's coming next. I feel like you like to keep people on their toes here, and you might not, I feel like you don't even do this on purpose too. You're just such a spontaneous and impulsive person, which is another reason why people find it very exciting to be around you. Like, you are anything but boring. Like, you are the exact opposite of boring. So I cannot imagine anyone ever thinking of you or describing you as someone who is boring, because that is the opposite of what you are. Like, you're a little crazy, but, like, crazy in a good way. So moving on to the rest of the cards, Lantern Fairy. So that's also, like, this fire energy, because a lantern is a light, and it's a light that's powered by fire. So this is like yet another message that you always have this inner fire within you. Even through the dark times too, you carry this fire with you, and it keeps you going. I feel like people see you as someone who's not scared of the unknown. They say that you are not afraid of trying something new or going the path less traveled. In fact, you often go down the path less traveled. You also have a lot of wisdom too. People can see that. People can see that you listen to your own inner voice rather than following the crowd or doing what's expected of you. You're definitely someone who just listens to your own heart. And then we have the past as a prison. So you could be someone who people could see that you struggle to let go of things. And this can be a good thing or a bad thing. The positive side of this is that you remember things, you remember the past, you remember every little detail. I feel like you hold on to old friendships, you keep in touch with people, you're persistent. But it can also be a bad thing in that, like, you remember the good times, but you also remember the bad times too. And, you know, some people might see you as a grudge holder in some ways, and that they know that like you do not forgive very easily, or maybe you're someone who forgives but you just never forget. So they could also even see you as someone who like just holds on to the past and like preserves it too. So this could even go beyond like grudge holding. This could be like they could just see you as someone who just has an affinity for history and things from the past. And you might be seen as someone who likes to revive old traditions or old things. Like you don't want to let go of like old customs. You might even dress like from a prior decade or a prior century, even for some of you. Like if we're going way back, you might be someone who's even like kind of like obsessed with history, and you love things that are just like totally ancient here. Like even like going to the Renaissance fair or something like that, or studying the past, reading the past too. So okay, now let's get into your tarot cards at last. Two of Swords reverse, Ten of Pentacles, Princess of Torches, Eight of Cups, King of Pentacles, and Five of Cups. Okay, so put this all together. Okay, so this Princess of Torches sticks out to me. This is like the fire card. Like you have a lot of passion, you have a lot of fire. You definitely are someone who speaks very persuasively too. You're not someone who's just like very soft-spoken or anything like that. Like you speak with a lot of energy and excitement, and you take action in life too. This is a card about taking action. So people can definitely see you as someone who, like, when you want something, you go for it. Like you definitely go after what you want. This Two of Swords here shows a lot of focus. So people can see that you're someone who's very focused. You're very dedicated on whatever you're working on. even if you're in a relationship, you're very dedicated to your partner or your friends in life. You focus on them a lot and you're very loyal towards them. Or if it's your career or a hobby or personal project that you're working on, you have a lot of focus and you really zoom in on it. This King of Pentacles here, so you could have some masculine energy here for sure, whether you are male or female. You might even indulge yourself a little bit in a little bit of drink or substances here, or maybe you like to spend a lot of money, but people feel like you are very wealthy too, and that was sort of what this crystal card was saying, the turquoise, true riches. So people do see you as rich. So some of you, like, that could literally be money. Like some people could be like, oh wow, this person has a lot of money, they're very well set. But it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, there's all types of wealth. So people could see that you're very emotionally wealthy, or just you're very like set off. You're very, that's not the phrase. You're very well set. Is that the correct phrase? I don't know. But like you're very stable with your place in life. And yeah, I think people see you as someone who's just like very satisfied with what you have. And the Ten of Pentacles too. So just like a lot of satisfaction on the physical level. Okay, even if you don't have a lot of money, I feel like people might assume you're rich, or they might just assume that money is not a stressor for you. It's not something that you worry about. And it's actually something that you might even kind of indulge yourself in. People could see you as like a family person too, because the Ten of Pentacles also has to do with family. So some of you might even be like a literal father, or you have like this paternal energy. Even if you are female, you're very protective too. This could be protective over your own family, or it could even be protective over your friends or your partner, or maybe your pets. You're very, very protective and very like paternal over them. Then we have this Eight of Cups here. So I feel like when it comes to the physical world, you're very satisfied, but when it comes to the emotional world, you might have more issues where it's like you're seeking out emotional fulfillment here. So I feel like you're not people see you as someone who doesn't really chase after money or chase after like material possessions, but you do chase after a sense of emotional fulfillment. So people could see that maybe you have like this gap when it comes to your emotions. You might have a little bit of a gap in your heart when it comes to fulfilling yourself emotionally, and people see that this is something that you really like work towards. Yeah, because with the King of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles upright, it's like you're totally set when it comes to your job or your home or your money, like everything on the material plane. But like you feel, or people see that you feel you're very lacking when it comes to more the emotional too. Also spiritual as well. So people could see that you're someone who seeks out, like you're someone who's kind of like on this never-ending spirit quest, and you're constantly looking for something to kind of fill the spiritual gap. And it also reminds me of the message of like how you easily attract people in your life who are very depressed and very prone to depression because they come to you and it's kind of like you heal them spiritually. But because of this, because so many people come to you for spiritual fulfillment and emotional fulfillment, in turn, you are the one who feels depleted both emotionally and spiritually. So that is definitely a message that you want to consider and think about, because it's like, it's amazing, this gift that you have, like this spiritual gift. Like, you can really help people out, you can really cure them, but you have to make sure that you are also getting something in return on the emotional level. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, because that was a pretty important message there, and I think that's something to really think about, and just remember to draw boundaries against certain people, and don't let people drain you emotionally and spiritually, because they could potentially take advantage of your spiritual gifts here and your healing abilities. Okay, so I hope you understood that message. If not, you can always leave a comment and maybe I'll try to explain it a little better that way. But overall, that is all of the messages that I got. So I hope you really like this spread. If it did not resonate, you can always check another pile. And I also have many other readings for you to check out as well, if you haven't seen them yet, other pick a card readings. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support, for subscribing, liking, and commenting. It's so amazing. I love it. And I send you many blessings. So for those who are curious about the Oracle and Tarot decks I used, I'm going to show you every single one that I used. So we have the Magic of Unicorns, Dragon Oracle cards, Divination of the Ancients, Oracle of Shadows and Light, Le Vampires, the Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle. Don't have any space here. And then lastly, the Cosmic Slumber Tarot. And I believe all of these should be available for purchase on Amazon, or at least that's where I got them. So not sure if any of these are discontinued, but as far as I know, they should all be available through Amazon. So thank you again so much for watching, and thank you for your support.